Hello and welcome. This is episode 7 of the Don't Eat Your Feelings podcast with Mindfulbellie. And I'm so excited to dive in today. So today's topic is road trip tips. And it's very much inspired by my recent road trip I just moved from Denver to moving to Austin, took a pit stop in Houston to visit my family. So I'm originally from Texas. So it feels really good to be coming back home. So excited. But I want to share with you some really easy tips and tricks and hacks to have a successful road trip and not feel like you completely derailed your health or feel kind of crappy because you ate a bunch of stuff that you normally wouldn't eat. And so I think this is one place where I see clients get kind of stressed out or overwhelmed or tripped up because, especially if they're doing really well in their health goals and they just don't want to fall back into old patterns. And vacations and trips can be a very easy place where we kind of start to slide, or it's like vacation mode, whatever. So I don't want that to be the case for you, because you don't have to feel deprived and it can be really easy. And I really want to help you take the stress out and help you stay feeling really good during your trip. So, all right, we're going to dive in first to a lot of things I love to pack, great go-to snacks, things like that. And then move into some mindfulness strategies and then talk about other ways to stay energized when you're on the road. Okay. So we'll start off with the things to pack. So the number one way of success for road trips is planning ahead and having, packing a cooler. So things to pack are like some of my favorite go-tos are like nut butter, and you can do nut butter with like celery or nut butter with apples. They sell almond butter packets, things like that. Also, jerkies. So I love the Epic bars are a great quality jerky. So not like Jack Links, which have a bunch of additives and it's like very conventionally raised meat and tons of soy and stuff like that. No, these are high quality raised, like from farm raised animals that aren't pumped full of hormones and antibiotics, and they've got no harmful additives. So we've got Epic bars. Actually, and my favorite is Wild Zora. That's a jerky, and they're such high quality. They're so amazing. And they just started selling them at Walmart. So you can find them at Walmart. And then Epic bars and Wild Zora you can get on Amazon too. So you could always order these ahead of time. Those are just great grab and goes. My favorite flavors of Epic bars are the chicken sriracha, and my favorite Wild Zora bars are the Mediterranean lamb. So good. But they're all really good. Anyways, okay, so jerkies like those are great. The apples and almond butter, celery and almond butter, something like that. Or doing things like even like just nuts in general, like pistachios, almonds, walnuts, if you just have bags of nuts. But one thing I would watch out for is a lot of nuts are roasted in toxic oils like sunflower oil, safflower oil, canola oil. So this is a place where to just pay attention and check the label, make sure you're getting just the only ingredient should be the nut and maybe some salt. But that's what I would look for. And another thing that I love to do is taking pecans. I roast them in ghee, which is the grass-fed clarified butter. Roast them in ghee with almond extract and vanilla extract and cinnamon. And oh my gosh, you guys, they're so good. So you could do that ahead of time if you've got time. But if not, just throw some pecans in a bag and that'll be great. But just a little extra hack that I love to make those. And things like you can just do deli meat. So getting Applegate brand is a great brand that doesn't have nitrates. It's no hormones added, no antibiotics, or organic chickens and turkeys. So I get either the oven roasted chicken or turkey breast, and just having that in the cooler you could dip it in guacamole, you could dip it in, just put some mustard on it, make little roll-ups, or you could make wraps. So like little lettuce wraps if you have time beforehand to do, or siete wraps, which are grainless tortillas. You can make some wraps ahead of time. And they sell siete tortillas at like Whole Foods, Publix, Sprouts. They're usually in the frozen section, or you can order online. Another brand you can order online is called Nuco wraps. Really like those. They're very low carb. They're awesome. So if you're like keto or insulin resistant, that might be a better option for you is the Nuco wraps. Okay. And then if you want like a sandwich, you could definitely still do a sandwich. Do it with the high quality deli meat, and then do the bread. Instead of bread, use my favorite grainless breads, like paleo breads that are higher fiber, protein, just better ingredients altogether are Julian's Bakery and Base Culture. Both have great bread. So that could be an option for you if you're just like used to having sandwiches on the road and want a simple swap for that. And other things are like hard-boiled eggs. You could just make a bunch of hard-boiled eggs, peel them, put them in a bag, and keep them in the cooler, maybe with like some guacamole to dip them in if you're good with the smell, and so are your passengers. So that's a great thing. Things like grainless granola. I love Whole Meat granola is a great one. Very low sugar, low carb. Is an awesome brand. And trail mixes. So you could make your own trail mix or, add some dark chocolate chips with some nuts. Again, this is one place to be mindful of those toxic oils that a lot of times are added to trail mix. So, and a lot of sugar is sometimes added. So just check the labels for that as well. And things like you could do like cashew yogurt or coconut yogurt, keep those in the cooler, just check those sugar grams. And again, especially mindful around the sugar or carbs during a road trip. If you're sitting for a really long period of time, like you're giving yourself a lot of carbs, it's just going to have you craving more carbs and kind of make you feel low energy and crash sooner because you're not moving, you're not burning it off. It's just like you're giving your body all this energy it has nothing to do with, and it makes us feel lousy. So that's a reason to focus on adding in like the high protein snacks versus the super high carb snacks. And watching out for things like bars, like paleo bars even, RX bars and like Lara bars. They're great ingredients and they're good in moderation or like in an emergency. And I'm not, saying no to those by any means, but on a road trip, you don't like, they're very calorie dense and they're still higher carb. So a bar I like for a road trip that's like lighter would be Lara has a Lara nut and seed bar. It's only like 6 grams of sugar. It's just a lot lighter. Even when you eat it, you don't feel like you just ate a stone. It's like very not so dense like the RX bars or like the some of the other bars out there. So try that one. That would be a good go-to. Other things are like canned tuna or canned salmon, or of course my favorite, boneless, skinless sardines. You can get them in water or olive oil. That's another place. Check that it's not in like soybean oil. So water or olive oil. Epic pork rinds. If you're like a chip person, you want something crunchy, Epic brand has pork rinds that aren't fried in oil, and they're are fried in toxic oil, and they are really, really great. Or also siete tortilla chips with guacamole or salsa could be a great go-to. And dark chocolate. So things like 70% or greater cacao content, preferably. Getting ones with almonds or some sort of nut is great too. Add a little extra protein. And so that's a great option. Or dip that in some nut butter. It'd be like a Reese's peanut butter cup, but like a dark chocolate almond butter cup. And one thing actually, for real, what I did this past trip was the night before I went, I got a rotisserie chicken from Sprouts. I just deboned it, had a bunch of chicken all like cut up, pulled apart, and ate that with salad greens. So I had bought a couple little boxes of the like Organic Girls spring mix and spinach and arugula, and did that with Primal Kitchen dressing and that chicken. So Primal Kitchen is my favorite dressings. I got the lemon turmeric one, but they literally have everything. So they've got creamy ranch, Thousand Island, and they're all dairy free. They're avocado oil based. They're really, really delicious. And so you could do that and just make yourself a salad whenever you need to stop. And I love that because I feel like on a road trip or like vacation, eating a ton of even like the healthier processed foods that are packaged, just something about it. It's like my body's just like, give me greens, give me real food. And so having packed, it's so nice it's just light and you feel more energized, or I personally do when I'm eating at least some greens during the day. So like getting guacamole, getting the salad greens, or even using the ranch dressing that they have, like that Primal Kitchen ranch. Or Chosen Foods is a great brand too that has some good dressings. They sell those at Costco. You can dip, you get, if you're good with cruciferous vegetables, raw vegetables, if it's good on your digestive system, you could do like pack some cauliflower, carrots, or broccoli and just dip that in the ranch or in whatever dressing and eat that as a snack. So that's good way to get some vegetables in on your road trip, so you're not just eating a bunch of processed food. And Oh, but my favorite thing is these Alter Eco coconut clusters. My roommate showed them to me, and they are the best things on the planet. They taste like the Caramel Delights or Samoas if you were in Girl Scouts. They're so good, and they're high fiber, high protein, low sugar. There's only 6 grams of sugar per serving. They're so good, and that's an awesome go-to, especially if you're wanting something sweet. Okay, so other things could be like unsweetened coconut flakes, or you could do the like kale chips. They've got Rhythm Brand has a great brand of kale chips. So these are all some good swaps, things to just pack, have on you so you don't have to resort to like McDonald's or gas station food. But I do want to dive into the event that you do. So you say you ate through all of your snacks or you didn't have time to pack and you're rushing, so you've got to stop for some fast food. So I want to give you a couple options that are better, that are up-leveled options. So one thing is like Subway. What I would get at Subway would be a chopped salad. They do awesome chopped salads because they chop it really good. So they're delicious. And you could get the deli meat. So like I would do like turkey or chicken breast with a bed of spinach. And you can do any of the vegetables like banana peppers, bell peppers, onions, pickles, things like that. I liked putting pickles and olives on it because it kind of gave it some flavor. And then olive oil and vinegar as the dressing, or yellow mustard. Yellow mustard is basically, it's just vinegar. So it's like a little bit of creamy vinegar. So I often use that as dressing. And you could add, if you wanted some extra salt and pepper, or squeeze some lemon on it for dressing, like lemon, olive oil, and salt and pepper is a great combo. And yeah, so just whatever vegetables you like, probably the more lean deli meats from Subway are probably the best option. And do that, and then you could get the apple slices with that and some water. So that's a good option if you're going to Subway. Or Chick-fil-A is probably the best if you see a Chick-fil-A. I know they're not always available, but if you see one, you could get just a chicken sandwich on a lettuce bun. So just wrapped in lettuce with a side salad or a cup of fruit, and do that as an easy go-to. And then worst case, say you have to go to McDonald's and that's where you go. I personally would probably just get like a quarter pounder with no bun with all the fixings. So like the lettuce, tomatoes, onions, mustard, and just eat that with a side salad. So some protein on some lettuce. And I would preferably, recommend not getting the fries. And it's not so much like the carb load, which does matter, but also just that those oils are so toxic. So I'll dive in just a little bit so you're, like especially when they're refried, like that oil just sits and it's heated. It's basically just breaking down, oxidizing. When you eat that, it causes oxidative stress in your system, basically promoting aging, causing inflammation in the body. And all of our cells have cell membranes, which are made out of the fats we eat. So if we're eating damaged fat, damaged toxic oils, like these vegetable oils and seed oils and things that are fried in oil, that's what you're made of. That's everything. So sugar, at least it spikes your blood sugar and it can promote inflammation as well, but you can burn it. Like when you eat these toxic oils, like it's inevitable. They're becoming your cells. So if you can, like, just thinking about that, I think helps. So that's why I want to educate and just spread that, because it's like, oh, I'm eating this. Like, it's literally becoming me. Like, do I want to be a damaged fat? No thanks. So, and if you do eat them, like, that's okay. Be mindful, and then add in your healthy fats. So like pack the avocado, pack some olives, because we allow your body to use that to build your cells too. So just quick side note, avoiding the fried foods as best you can. And things like, McDonald's, I'd probably just get like some burger patties on a side salad, or a chicken breast on a side salad. And McDonald's stopped using fillers in their burgers. So at least you're getting, it's not the best quality meat, but better than other places. So, and then things like, if you do go sit down somewhere like Chili's or Applebee's, same kind of thing. Getting like, you could get a steak with veggies, you could get a chicken breast with veggies. Mexican place, you could get fajitas and just opt out of the chips or the tortilla. Eat your satay chips instead. And again, that's with the oils, the really fried oils and the flour too. and corn and the GMO corn, but we can go down a bunch of rabbit holes here. So best options, fajitas, or fajitas with vegetables, no tortillas, no chips if you can. And yeah, so those are some ideas. If you're on the road, you've got to stop at a fast food place. That's would be my recommendations. And now I want to move into some mindful eating habits. Okay, so I know for me, road trips, it's a very tempting time to just want to eat the entire time I'm driving because I'm bored or I'm just like not, I don't know, like a lot of times I'm very stressed before a road trip, just the planning and trying to get everything packed. Like especially this past one, I had a timeline that I was not meeting. It was my own imaginary timeline, but I was behind. And so there's a lot of stress going into it. And so when that happens, stress for me and for I know most of my clients is a big trigger for wanting to eat and wanting to kind of calm down and relax. So one thing I recommend is before a trip, like that morning, if you're leaving in the morning, is to take 5 minutes, 10 minutes if you can, just to, just breathe. Doing some of the 5-5-7 breath is one of my favorites, where you breathe in 5 seconds, hold for 5 seconds, exhale for 7 seconds. And just so you can start your trip calm, just like it's going to be okay, it's going to be good, and just to have that relaxing moment for yourself before you get in the car. It can change the entire trip. And then using that throughout your trip if you are feeling stressed in traffic, or if you're running behind, or you just get kind of antsy, tune back into your breath. Another one is called the box breath. So that's where it's a 4-count inhale. Basically, you're drawing a box, 4-count inhale, 4-count hold, 4-count exhale, 4-count hold. And you can just kind of draw a box in your mind as you breathe and do the couple cycles of that. It can help to calm down if you're feeling tense or stress throughout your drive. And that can help prevent reaching for food when you're not hungry, just to kind of numb out or to comfort yourself. And another mindfulness tool here too is while you drive, to definitely have drinks available, so that if you need something to do, that you have something to reach for if you aren't hungry but you just need something. So I've mentioned this multiple times but in previous episodes, but club soda is great. So having a cooler full of club soda and water. We're going to dive into water a little bit in a second, but having your water, maybe unsweet tea. You can do things like a herbal tea. You could brew a bunch before. One of my favorites is hibiscus tea. It's so good. It's kind of naturally sweet, almost like it's fruity. Drinking it cold during the summer is so good. So you could brew a bunch of that and pack it, put it in a jar and drink that. Also, Four Sigmatic coffee is one of my favorite. They have little packets and you can it's instant coffee, and it's the best instant coffee. And you could put that, just get a cup of hot water at a gas station and make that, or black coffee if you like that. And I like my Runa energy drinks, the carbonated Runa. And I promise I'm not an affiliate with them. It's my favorite drink. And yeah, so having those drinks readily available to curb false hunger cravings when it's really just thirst. And so that's can kind of segue us into the next tip, which is staying hydrated during your trip. So it is so essential for energy. It is so essential for you feeling good, especially if you're sitting a long time, to drink lots of water. A lot of times we forget because we're not moving or being active. So staying ahead of your thirst and just staying hydrated. And one of my favorite ways is to have a little alarm on my phone that goes off, and every hour or so to remind me hey, drink water, and set a water goal. So maybe if your road trips all day, 8 hours, that you drink 100 ounces. And yeah, that may mean you're stopping a little bit more often to go to the restroom, but that's so good because then you can get up and walk and move, which is going to have you feel so much energized as well. Okay, so drinking your water, maybe set an alarm, set a water goal, a non-negotiable water goal, 100 ounces that you, and even maybe pack 6 water bottles, or if you have a refillable water bottle, to just know how many you got to drink before you get there. And I like to pair it with things. So every time I'm at the gas station, I drink 16 ounces. Or other, just other things that you could pair it with on the road. What if you see a certain color car, then you drink, or something like that, whatever works for you. But definitely set intentions to have water goals. This is going to help you reduce cravings, help promote your energy, just keep you feeling so much better, prevent road rage, prevent headaches on the road, and prevent you from trying to over-caffeinate too, because so often we're just seeking energy and we do it in the form of caffeine or sugar when it's really just, we just need to drink water. So set your intention to drink lots and lots of water on your trip. And then moving into the next tip, which is movement. So when you go to the gas station, when you take pit stops, to schedule those in regularly, even if it's, you've got a really fuel efficient car that you are stopping every, hour, maybe every 2 hours at least, to get up and move. And this is going to make all the difference in the world in your sleep and how you feel when you arrive at your destination. And I think it's so worth like 15 minutes, maybe like 3 extra stops for 15 minutes. Yeah, that's 45 minutes total, but the fact how much better you feel when you get to your destination. And when we don't move all day long, I feel that like really, it's like almost wired but tired. It's like, I know I never sleep well when I don't move during the day. It's just, and then that sets you up for a poor next day. And so I think it's worth a couple extra stops to get up and move. And what I do when I get to a gas station is I'll do either like a set of squats, lunges, some toe taps where I'm like kicking, like high kicks, running in place. And often, like this past trip, I set timers on my phone. So I set a 10-minute timer and walked with a water bottle and just walked in the sun and drank for 10 minutes. And then I did some squats and some stretches, especially in your chest, like doing chest openers where you can interlace your fingers behind your back, reach up, looking up straight. You can do some hip circles. So that's like taking your knee and drawing some circles, like really opening up through the hips. That's where also lunges or squats can really help open up through your hips, like a deep ninja squat where you squat down. It's Malasana in yoga for you yogis listening. And really opening up through the hips and the chest can help energize you. And that's really what gets tight when we sit for a long time. So making sure to do that, and then just walking is awesome. And getting sunlight if it's sunny outside. So this past trip, I was so tired on the second day for some reason around like 1 o'clock. And I knew caffeine wasn't going to work. It was one of those states where it's like, I know I already had enough caffeine. It's like my body's tired. And so I stopped. I had my yoga mat in my car. I literally laid it in the grass at a gas station and laid in the grass in the sun for like 5 minutes and I didn't fall asleep, but I took closed my eyes, let the sun hit me. And I walked around for 10 minutes, chugged a bunch of water, and then I had my peppermint essential oil, and just inhaled a bunch of it. And y'all, it was like a miracle cure. I didn't need caffeine. My body just needed my essentials, which was probably vitamin D from the sun, which felt so good just laying there. I need a moment of rest from breathing, walking and movement. And then that peppermint oil was so helpful. So that's something else I think an amazing thing to pack in the car, not only for energy, which it is, like to wake you up, put a couple drops in your hand and inhale. And I put it on my air freshener, like on my air conditioner, my vent. So it blows in my face. And then also if you're someone who gets car sick, peppermint oil is amazing to just inhale, rub some on your stomach. It also curbs cravings. So if you're craving some sugar or something, just sniffing it can be magical. And you can even put like a drop or two in your water. It's very cooling. And yeah, peppermint essential oil is amazing to bring on a road trip. So those are my major hacks. The next thing lastly is to eat a protein-packed breakfast. So if you're leaving in the morning or whenever you're leaving, is to eat a good solid breakfast so that you're not craving and things all day long. If you start the day off with a Danish or a donut, like that's going to set you up to just be craving that kind of stuff all day long and not feeling great on your trip. So if you can start with a protein-packed breakfast, keeping you full and energized throughout your trip so that you're not crashing and craving all day long. And yeah, so I hope these were really helpful tips and you got some good ideas for what to pack on your road trip. And I've got a little road trip guide, which I've put a lot of the things I mentioned, like the grainless granola and the some of the other snacks I mentioned, the Epic bars and things like that, in a list. And yeah, so if you want that, hit me up. You can email me and I'll send it right over. My email is mindfulbellie@gmail.com, or DM me on Instagram at mindfulbellie, and that's Bellie. And I hope this was helpful. I hope that y'all have the best road trips. And if you ever need help, please reach out. This is what I do with clients, that we set you up for success to make sure that you've navigated everything, that you know and you feel really comfortable and confident in your health goals, no matter what you're doing, if you're traveling or whatever it may be. So hit me up if you want a strategy session. I am here for you. And if y'all have any ideas for podcast episode ideas or anything that you're having challenges with that you need help with, like, please let me know. This is for you. So I want to speak to whatever challenges that you're having. So I love you guys so much. Thanks for listening. Bye.